Hello, everybody. Welcome to Up the Boards. I'm Yusuf, and that's Tyler.
Hi, I'm Tyler.
All right, good. Close
Okay,
enough.
we're good.
Yeah.
Close enough.
Welcome to our episode today. You can notice our resident Ducks fan is not here because he's too busy stressing over the current playoff matchups. But Yusuf, how are you?
I'm good. How are you, Ty? How are you feeling through these playoffs?
I want Batman's head on the platter, but other than that, due to the draft lottery. But everyone else is good. Everything else is great. Playoffs, honestly, not having a team in it has been incredible.
Oh, I'm sure.
Getting the bandwagon. I mean, you also don't, but bandwagon on a couple things has been kind of fun, and it's just been actually kind of fun to watch good hockey. So
what do you mean I don't have a team in the race? I'm the noted Carolina Hurricanes fan.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Sorry, and I forgot my Buffalo Sabres.
Your Buffalo Sabres.
Yeah, the team I've always rallied around. What are you talking about?
Exactly. Yeah. So, where do we start? Last time we recorded an episode, Tyler, you weren't here, but Alex and I were doing the episode. And the last time we did an episode, the Carolina Hurricanes eliminated the Ottawa Senators. We are doing another episode, and the Carolina Hurricanes have once again eliminated a team.
Okay, so honestly, I know I'm historically have been the person to always kind of shit on Carolina because the Rangers always ended up playing them in the first and second round. With us not being there, I have been all in on Carolina. I'm
honestly,
every time
I want good things for the Hurricanes.
God, I love it.
This is definitely a different Hurricanes team.
Honestly, I love it because they built a team exactly how I would want to build a team as a GM, and they have the exact kind of coach and play style I love. So, that's why I hate them so much, is because they're doing exactly what they should be doing. And
they're everything you want, right?
Yeah, I know. It's I want you guys to be me. What the hell? So,
it's why can't you be the Rangers? It's fuck.
Or the Red Wings in your case.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of which, as we're recording, the Buffalo-Montreal Game 3 is on right now, and it is 4-2 for Montreal.
Heck yeah. That's actually who I'm rooting for. So
as we just start the third.
I
should have taken my Montreal jersey, yeah. So, let's talk about the Flyers-Kane series, because that is now the first of the second round series that are over.
Yeah, how do you want to begin that?
I want to say a eulogy for the Flyers, but I think they're kind of deserving of one because they surprised a lot of people coming into these playoffs.
I don't know if it's very interesting because I feel like you can't really talk about the second series without kind of talking about the first series a little bit. And it's I don't know if Pittsburgh was just kind of not. It's almost like they're a bunch of guys in their 40s trying to make one last gun of the gore days.
Yeah.
But I feel like the Flyers played really, really well. It's just Carolina is just damn good.
Carolina's just a better team.
Carolina was just a better team. Freddie Anderson's decided he's I kind of want to get a cup. He's just kind of playing the best hockey he's ever played in his whole career.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, I the benching Michkov thing was a little weird. Not gonna lie to you. I have thoughts, but
I would like to hear those because that is a situation. Matvei Michkov in general is a situation that I didn't think we'd be getting to.
I just don't know if it's a good fit.
I don't either.
Which is weird because on paper it's should be, but
okay. Well, this is actually going to be kind of. I'm glad we're having this conversation specifically about Michkov too, because if you remember, which I know you do, we were at the draft he got drafted at.
I know. I pointed out the guy in the Michkov jersey who was just, in fact, Michkov.
It was still my favorite. For those of you that don't know this story, it's my favorite thing in the world. Tyler and I are finishing up watching the first round of the NHL draft in Nashville. I went to go visit him for that weekend. And as we're leaving the arena, we see a dude in a Michkov Flyers jersey talking to Patrick Sharp. And Tyler looks at the guy and goes, "Man, that guy already got ahead of the game." I go, "What do you mean?" He goes, "He's wearing a Michkov jersey." I look at him, I go, "Is that not?" And Tyler looks over and out loud, Tyler goes, "Oh shit, it's Matvei Michkov." He was autographing something for a fan. It was actually really kind of cool. But I remember when he got drafted, we didn't have much of a reaction to it. We were just kind of Philly's taking a gamble on him. And that was kind of it. It wasn't he'd be a good fit in Philly, or Philly has a plan around Michkov. It was just Philly kind of took Michkov, and I remember both of us looked at each other and we were like, okay.
I kind of thought he was going to fall a little further. It kind of felt
I did too.
A mid-round pick. especially when some of the other guys were still on the board who were on the board. But like, I don't know, like I didn't quite understand the hype of him to begin with, to be honest with you. And like further and further down we are, it's like you just have your quote unquote star young player benched in a playoff game. To me, is not a good sign for his future with the organization. Very weird, honestly. Very, very weird.
Very weird, yep. I think to that, I brought this up sometime earlier this season when we were talking about Calder stuff, and we're going to bring it up again. Everything Ivan Demidov is for Montreal is what we all thought Matvei Michkov would be eventually with the Flyers. And it's been 2 seasons now, I think, with the Flyers. And it just hasn't really shown. If anything, there's been more controversy and just like behavior issues with Michkov we've been hearing about than his actual prowess as a player.
Yeah, and like honestly, he had a better rookie campaign than he did, I believe, his second year.
Yep.
Which is kind of weird. Yeah, because let's see, he was 80 games his rookie year, 63 points in 80 games, and this year he was 81 games for 51 points. So he went down in goals, down.
So he had a sophomore slump, yeah.
Yeah, but it's kind of noticeable. And on top of that, in the playoffs, I mean, he played Pittsburgh.
Yep.
They murdered and embarrassed, and then they lost to the Canes 4-0, granted, but he only had 1 assist and a -3 through basically all those games, the 8 games he did play. Which obviously, like 1 point in a playoff series when you were drafted in the first round in a top 10 pick is not really that good looking.
Yeah, it's one of those, again, like I say this, it's one of those situations with Michkov where looking back at it, I feel like it was sort of a what's the word? I don't want to use desperation pick.
It felt a little like a reach. I mean, I remember that whole leading up to it. The only team that was really kind of hot on him was the Capitals.
Yep.
And that was like Caps were a few picks back from them, and it was like, okay, like they're just gonna pick a fun young Russian kid because he's a goal scorer. Like, kind of start, take a gamble on it. And that's kind of like, it kind of felt like a good Capitals pick, honestly.
Absolutely,
like a certain star Russian goal scorer leaving in a couple of years. But yeah, it felt really weird at the time, and it still feels and is very weird.
It still feels weird. I think there are moments where, Michkov plays, and I'll watch him, and I'm like, there's just nothing about him, to me, watching him play for the Flyers that has screamed, like, elite. But again, he's young. Maybe that changes in a couple of years. Well, I don't know. But I also feel like Philadelphia, as an organization, has worked around it where they knew that Michkov was going to be a gamble, but they made up for it with your Jet Luchenkos, your Porter Martones, who Porter Martone specifically was very good for them in the playoffs. I don't know. It's so weird. And then like benching him benching him in the series against Carolina, it just, I don't know. There's so many questions about him that I think don't need to be asked now. Like, we don't need to worry about that. But it's more of a matter of what do the Flyers actually see potential-wise in Michkov going forward.
Absolutely. I 100% agree with you.
No. On top, and then after that, it's like, you look at how the Flyers were this series. Yes, they got swept, but they did lead 2 out of the 3 games. 4 games, sorry. What am I saying? Not 3, 4. They led 2 out of 4 games, right? And they were looking really good. Carolina's not a fucking easy team to beat, right?
Oh, God.
So the fact that Philly was able to find their way, now granted, they blew those leads, that's fine. I think it's acceptable that they blew those leads and lost because they're a young team. This is their first big playoffs, right? Like, you made it out of the first round. Congratulations. You beat an aging Pittsburgh team. It's not the most things to, go crazy and cheer about, but that's still something. And you're going up against a juggernaut like Carolina. I think for the Flyers, it's such a great learning experience for them to understand, like, oh, this can happen in an instant.
Well, absolutely. And I think on top of that, I mean, I think in the first series, I mean, I got to give the guy credit. Dan Vladar played really well in the first series.
I was about to say, you got to give your flowers to Dan Vladar.
Yeah, in the second round, it was definitely not as good, but I also think Carolina was just that good of a team.
Yep.
Yeah, So, I mean, I honestly, I was kind of surprised by it, but I also don't think that was a helpful situation for them as well.
No, I don't think so. And I also think that I mentioned this in the group chat after the Flyers got eliminated. This is now the second team that has led the Hurricanes in hits throughout the series and lost to the Hurricanes, which has only happened once, which was Ottawa in the first series that Carolina played in this playoffs. So, as we said in the beginning of this, so this is a very different Carolina team. That Alex has been saying this for forever, that this is probably the best team Carolina's put together in the Brind'Amour era. It arguably is now, right? The fact that they are able to utilize their abilities well in their system, and they never changed that system when Rod showed up. But they finally figured the system out for teams like that.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Carolina is probably, in my opinion, and this might be a hot take, I'm sure some people will disagree with this, Carolina is the best team in the playoffs right now, and there's not a question about it. Like, I love Montreal, I love Buffalo. They're the team I would love to see. They're the one to hold anything. I think, however, you said, Tyler, like, who is going to win the cup tomorrow? Absolutely Carolina. Not even a question I asked. Like, I actually think they'll be able to shut down Colorado. I think they could shut down Minnesota, because the thing that they're doing is they're playing 100% as a team, rolling 4 lines consistently. They're running 3 deep pairs, and they have an outstanding goalie duo. I hate to say that. And they are playing everything perfectly. Like, they're just a well-oiled machine. And if someone gets hurt or someone goes down or they bench somebody, it doesn't matter, because the next guy's going to come in and next man up, and you're not even going to notice. It's wonderful.
That's the craziest thing about Carolina is you don't notice. You're like, who's that guy? Oh, I don't know. He scored. So, okay, cool.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah, the Hurricane. You make a very good point. I'm going to get to that in a second. That'll be a good way for us to segue into talking about the remainder of the series that are going on, because every other series is like only in their 3rd or 4th game. Meanwhile, Carolina's done. They're just like, fuck it, whatever. Time for a vacation. This Carolina team, I think, finally figured out how to weaponize their system of defensive heavy hockey, because they're still not high scoring. Like, it didn't really change much about I wouldn't say like okay, when I mean high scoring, I mean like you shell a guy like 6 goals.
Yeah, that's never been them though. Like, that's never been Carolina.
So that's my point. My point being, though, is even with the addition of Nikolai Ehlers, which has been a great addition for them, they were still the same Carolina, but they figured out how to weaponize their defensive strategies in that they understand we don't score many goals, and that goes, oh wait, we don't have to. Yeah, all we have to do is make sure that we don't blow it.
Yep.
And they've really shown that a lot better through this season, obviously, but especially with these last 2 playoff series. And that, now, granted, it's Ottawa and the Flyers, and I know a lot of people will say, what a joke. Like, look, they made the playoffs. They're not that much of a laughing stock. Our teams didn't make the fucking playoffs. Like, well, Alex's Ducks did, but okay. But
what are you talking about? The Mammoth absolutely made the playoffs.
You're right. The Mammoth did, in fact, make the playoffs. I'm sad about the Mammoth.
I
know. Yeah, true. But Carolina is really showing that, like, they are able to shut down just about anything.
Yep.
And now, to your point, and this is how we're going to segue, talking about the remainder of the series that are going on. Until yesterday, I thought there wouldn't be a team that could take a game out of Colorado.
Yep.
Carolina, as they are, if Colorado does actually make the final, which they, at this point, I think probably end up doing anyway, I can see Carolina shutting them down hard.
I've been watching the Carolina series very closely, and I'm watching the Colorado series because nobody lives out there as a diehard Avs fan, and man, it is very apparent to me that the Canes are not messing around this year. They're not. Most serious they have been. Yeah.
Which, like, please let this be the year. I'm hoping.
Yeah, honestly, the whole joke for the past 3 seasons was they can't win it. Like, they can't win on the road.
They have 4 wins. They just swept back to back. They're the first team since 1987 to go 8-0 in the first 2 rounds. Like,
regardless of who the opponent is, that's still impressive. Like,
yeah, regardless of the opponent, they have not lost a game yet. And now we segue. Colorado suffers their first loss in the playoffs.
Wonderful. You love to see it.
Wonderful. What an incredible game for Minnesota, by the way.
Everything. That's how Minnesota played in the first round. That is how Minnesota played all year.
Yep.
It's taken them a second, but that they could, if they keep that up, the good things will happen down the stretch here. Like I could see that being.
Yeah, I can see that being Minnesota's. So, as we speak, the Minnesota-Colorado series is 2-1 for Colorado. They won the first 2 games. Minnesota just won Game 3 yesterday. Game 1 might have been the most entertaining thing I've ever seen.
It was wild.
What an incredible night for hockey.
As a fan of goaltending, it was painful, but my God, as a fan of hockey, it was incredible.
As a hockey fan, it was one of the greatest nights I've ever witnessed in my life. 15 goals between 2 teams. The final score was 9-6. And I truly believe that Minnesota did not go into that game with a game plan. They just said, we're going to start punching and see what happens.
Well, I also think it wasn't completely wild. It was 9-16, but like we just need to talk about like
can we just appreciate again 9-6.
Also, the crazier part of all that is like the score does not even reflect how close that game was. Like,
no,
that game was so much closer to 9-6, which is crazy. What an outstanding game! Like honestly, everything about that was wonderful.
Oh my God! I have a question for you though, but in regards to the series, and speaking of goaltending, so after the first game, Minnesota decided to pull Jesper Wallstedt and have Philip Gustafsson start Game 2, but Colorado kept Scott Wedgwood in net for Game 2. Colorado won, obviously, a little closer game than it was in Game 1.
Definitely lower scoring.
Definitely lower scoring, which is always nice. But how do you feel about the goaltending performances so far in this series? Because I feel like this has been a big talking point for them, besides the fact that you have Hughes Faber versus Makar Taves.
Well, so the interesting thing I'd say is of the teams, right, that are all in the playoffs, I think this is the most interesting series from this perspective. This is the 2 teams that have basically 2 starters. Like last season, especially like with the Lumberyard starting, it was definitely a lot more 50-50. Now Wedgwood has definitely taken over as the 1A and Blackwood the 1B. And definitely same thing in Minnesota, actually. Like last year was definitely kind of a more even split. Maybe Gustafsson got a few more starts, and this year it's definitely been a little more even. And like, especially coming out of the Olympics, it seems to have become Wallstedt's team. And it's like, I like the strategy both teams took. And you could have subbed out for either team and it would have been the right answer. I think for the Avs sticking with Wedgwood, I think they just have faith. And I heard Eric Johnson, and I think it was after the first game, and his interview was just there was a second game. Yeah, he was like, man, he's got so much confidence. Like everyone in the room wanted him to be the starter, like, and they all wrote of him. And it's like, that says a lot about how the team feels about him. On the flip side, I totally understand what Minnesota did and what John Hines did. And it's like, okay, we have a young goalie. I mean, he's not even 24 years old. He's like 23.
No, he's 23,
And they're like, look, first real playoff action here. Like, give him a game, let him reset. If Gustafsson comes in and balls out, great. If not, say, okay, we're going to go back to Game 3. But what you did is you gave him a break, let him kind of reset his mind and approach, kind of get back some practice reps in, and then go out for Game 3. And by the way, looked incredible in Game 3.
Like a fucking $1 million in Game 3.
Honestly, both teams, I think, did the right thing for their situation. I actually think that was excellent. Now, you could have a talk about Wedgwood, actually. I mean, granted, the second game he looked very, very good. But the first game, I mean, no one looked good. And the third game, I mean, they ended up pulling him right in Game 3, right?
Yeah, he got shelled.
So, I mean, now that's an interesting conversation. I mean, two bad-ish games and 2 bad games and 1 good one. Do you go to the backup? And I mean, I think if the series gets evened up, next game, Game 4 goes Minnesota, I think there has to be a conversation about maybe try a game at Blackwood. But at the same time, Wedgwood got you this far all year and looked incredible in round 1 and looked really good in round so far. I mean, like I said, that first game was a wash for both teams, but I don't know. If you take the first game out of it, each goalie's had a good game. So, I mean, but I could see them maybe kind of having that conversation if it evens up.
I feel like in regards to, like, if you take, like, Game 1 is such an anomaly.
Yeah, it's an absolute outlier.
It's an outlier. It really is. Like, it was incredibly entertaining hockey, but I think that game should not reflect on how this series ends up going.
No,
because
absolutely.
it's essentially going to go the way we all expected it to go, much like we expected Minnesota Dallas. It's going to be a fist fight to the end,
Oh,
and
100%.
it's just who gets out alive. Now, to that point, I was talking to my dad about this as the game was going on yesterday. This is, Colorado's getting shelled despite looking like a powerhouse for the most part this entire series. And I was telling my dad, I'm like, here's for the playoffs rather. And I go, well, two things. Number one is this is what Minnesota was built for. I think people need to remember that about the Minnesota Wild. Despite being, Hughes, Kaprizov, Faber, Boldy, and the goaltending duo, and then their band of merry men, this was a team that was built by Bill Guerin, taking a lot of risks in a lot of places and selling as much as he could, specifically for the purpose of shutting down a team like the Colorado Avalanche. It was a long-term plan. It was a bold plan, but he knew that would be the situation in the future, and he knew this is what we need to do. Neutralize the threat. It worked against Dallas. It worked great yesterday against Colorado. Number two is, we talked about this before. I think it's time to talk about it again. As much as I don't want to, but I feel like we have to. Does Colorado actually feel like that powerhouse that everyone's been hyping them up to be? Because again, it just doesn't feel like it in the series either.
I brought it up when we first had this conversation, man. I
Yeah.
brought it up, and it's like I don't want to be the craziest looking dude with tinfoil on my head, but like, man, it's like I just don't get it. Like, and like obviously they have so much talent, it's stupid, but like as
It's ridiculous how talented they are, yes.
but we say this every year, and it's like at a certain point, it's like, okay, we say this every year, and like once again, they had game one anomaly, game two they put up 5-2, okay, cool. But game three, I mean, they were completely shut down. It was 5-1. Like, they didn't know how to score.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like, dang, like, there was 3 off the post and, like, empty net. It was
just
just
little
not.
to bad scoring chances.
They just got shut down.
Yeah.
And, like, once again, if we talk about an even series game in 2 or 3 days, man, then we have a very different conversation, right? Like, then it's, wow, okay. Like, once again, they played the Kings in round 1. Like, I'm not trying to be funny. Like,
yeah, they should have shelled the Kings and sent them packing 2 games in.
Yeah, and like,
but those games were still tight.
I mean, once again, if you play a Carolina, are they going to be able to score? Like, that's like a genuine question I would have, or even if they're going to be able to keep up with the speed of like a Montreal or a Buffalo. I mean, like, that's a whole other conversation. Probably.
Nope.
But yeah, I don't know. The Colorado thing has just always been something I've been kind of thinking about all year. It's like, I remember everyone was like, "This is like the best team ever." And then like second half of the season, they were kind of just middle of the pack.
They were slumping pretty hard.
Yeah, so like, I don't know. It's which version you're going to get, and right now.
Exactly. It's what version you're going to get, and also I think just like I've finally gotten to the point as a hockey fan where I don't let the regular season be telling of how a team's going to be in the playoffs.
Smart man.
You just can't. Right? Like,
no, absolutely can't.
You just can't. A team can look like a powerhouse through the entire regular season, and they might fall flat. The best 2 examples are Tampa and Boston. The year they had their record-breaking seasons. Tampa looks like a powerhouse. They got swept by Columbus in the first round. The Bruins had that record-breaking season where they broke Tampa's record in wins, and they lost in the first round.
Yeah, it's
like these things happen.
Dude,
you just can't let that be a telling factor. Colorado, at least, like, they had their moments of, slump. And I think everyone looked at that and went, okay, this is where they shake off the rust. They shake off the slump. They'll be fine in the playoffs going in. They win the President's Trophy. It's cool. I was expecting more of their cup run a few years back. The way they kind of handle that, where they didn't murder them every game, but they murdered the crap out of St. Louis in that first round, and then said, "Okay, cool." It just didn't look like it in the series against LA. And then going into the second round, like, again, game 1's an outlier. We don't count game 1 because that is just too insane of a hockey game to consider. But game 2, okay, cool. This is a Colorado we're kind of more used to. Like, not high scoring, but finding scoring chances from everywhere. And then game 3, all of a sudden, it's, like, cracks are showing again.
And honestly, like, I'm not trying to be funny, like, I don't know how they field against a Vegas or an Anaheim even. Like,
I'm gonna be honest. I thought about this this morning actually. I was like, if Colorado wins and if Vegas wins, I kind of take Vegas.
I actually honestly had that thought.
Uh,
Honestly, after the Mammoth series and kind of after, well, I guess we should just segue into the Ducks now.
I guess we should.
Okay, so the Ducks
The
and Vegas.
Ducks. So it is. It's 2-1 for Vegas right now in this series. Anaheim got a great game 2 win, but Vegas fired back with a 6-2 win in game 3 in Anaheim. So this is about to get real interesting. Anaheim might want to hopefully win game 4. There's 2 big talking points I want to bring up in this series. One of them is really funny, and the other is an actually serious one. And I'm going to get to the serious one first. Do you see Anaheim finding their way out of this?
No, and I have 2 words. And I have stats to back up those 2 words.
Okay.
We talked about outliers a little bit ago.
Mm-hmm.
So we're talking about. So Freddie Anderson's what we call an outlier in the industry because he's just ridiculous. He's got a 950 save percentage right now, which, good lord. Goals against average. This is like an NHL franchise, like from the video game. This is ridiculous. However, like the 2 words I'm gonna say, Carter Hart has
Carter
been playing. God, Philly could use a guy like this, but like, dude,
right?
Look, everything regarding him in the media past couple years aside, he looks like the guy he was drafted as.
Yeah.
Like, it's stupid how good he's been looking.
Yes.
And it's not even like, oh man, the Mammoth were playing outstanding hockey. Like, they had absolute snipers and like glove save through traffic.
Yeah.
Like, there was one play he made like a diving save behind him to keep the puck out of the net, and like the last game, that's going to be the challenge, is beating him. Like, honestly, he has probably been, I would argue, besides Freddie Anderson, probably been one of the more interesting or top goalies in the playoffs.
Absolutely.
And like, I think that has been the biggest secret to Vegas' success this year. Like, it's kind of funny because it's never usually the goalies we're talking about, but for Vegas this year, like, despite
it's
all the other names, it's Carter Hart's the reason.
Yep.
Love or hate him, it's the reason.
Love or hate him, that's the big reason. I think the thing it is too is it's not to say that Anaheim doesn't have good goaltending on the other side. Lucas Dushtal is such a fucking incredible goalie, but I think this is the same situation that the Anaheim Ducks are finding themselves in, that the Mammoth found themselves in going against Vegas, is that they're such a young, fun team to watch. They're heavy on firepower. They're fast. They're nimble around the ice, but there's going to be things like the Vegas way of sort of steamrolling your way around the ice. That'll get them. Goaltending has been incredible for the Vegas Golden Knights. Yeah, like I'd love for Anaheim to win this series. I just think this is going to end up going Vegas's way.
Well, so they were saying it, I think it was on one of the TNT broadcasts again. I think it was the last game against the Mammoth, actually.
Mm-hmm.
They were talking to John Tortorella, and they said, what has this experience been like coaching this team compared to coaching the Flyers? Like a few seasons ago, and he was like, honestly, and this is my biggest takeaway from the series against the Mammoth. This is kind of when I came, like, last game of the series. I was like, well, this is the best game. Like, I was like, there's no John Tortorella said earlier, I was like, in Philly, I was coaching kids. Like, I was trying to turn these guys into NHL players. And he's like, with this, I just have to sit down and watch and, like, bump in when needed. But for the most part, I just have to stand here with a smile on my face, and these guys will handle themselves. They're all veterans. Everyone on this team is a professional. Like, and that was really apparent. Like I said, there was a moment, I think at the end of that game, like the first person over to Carter Hart was Mark Stone, and like he had like a good solid 2-minute conversation with him. Or like when he got pulled in the one game, like after like Mammoth were up, I mean, like on the bench, like 2 or 3 of the guys were ever talking to their goalie. And it's like, damn, this team, like they kind of get it.
They get it. No,
that's kind of what John Cooper said about running Tampa the 2 or 3 years they won the Cup, by the way. Was it's like, it's management. These guys know what they're doing. I don't have to do anything. I just have to stand here and look pretty. And it's like, it's kind of seeming to be how Vegas is operating right now.
Yeah, I think the thing is Vegas. Weirdly enough, it's like a brotherhood in that team.
Yeah, it really
It
is
really is a brotherhood.
weirdly
Because
interesting.
I think part of it too is, a lot of people, I get it. I hate, they'll hate the way Vegas does business. Unfortunately, we all kind of do. It's a dog eat dog world. What do you expect?
Like I said, I think I got a sword sticking through my back now.
Oh, you too? Damn. Well, I'll call Alan Walsh. Alan, but one thing I truly found to appreciate about the Vegas Golden Knights is that all those guys on that team were misfits, in a sense. They're all incredible players. Freaking Jack Eichel. This guy's a former second overall pick by the Buffalo Sabres. But like him, like Mark Stone, like all the guys that were up in the expansion draft, they were all essentially castaways.
Yep.
And somehow these castaways banded together, made a final in their first year, and then years go by. Vegas understands, like, we got a winning formula here. We just got to work on it, make changes as we go. Yeah, okay, some of those changes are a little weirder than others, and again, the way they do business is kind of crazy, but they want to cup out of it.
Well, honestly, dude, I'm trying to remember what the name of the documentary is. I've drawn a blank. It's the Vegas Golden Knights of a documentary. I think it's on Amazon.
Okay.
It's from like their first season ever made. It's like Valiant or something like that. I think it's the name of it. And like, dude, that's been the thing instilled in that team since day one. You're checking the score, aren't you?
It is 6-2 for Montreal. Kirby Dach and Alex Newhook have both scored. Oh my god.
Well, I told you guys Montreal was going to be the thing. No one listens.
Vibes. So, okay, you were saying about this documentary.
But the whole documentary, the whole thing was just talking about how, like, they actually, started a franchise, how the whole process of building it up, drafting the players, why they drafted them. And it's like everything from day one was culture.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, building a culture, instilling a culture, being part of the community, being a team that the people want to be. And it's like, they cared about, like, building a strong culture and making it a team thing. And, like, honestly, we can talk about Carolina playing like a team, and Vegas plays like a team. Anybody who gets in there who you're like, who's this guy? Is like, dude, Brett Howden looks like an elite NHL player.
Brett Howden.
Like, I think he had a single goal as a Ranger. Like, honestly, it angers me. But, like, dude's crazy good right now. And it's like, because he's being picked up. They have a great culture, man. And it's like, that matters so much.
Yeah, it really does. And, like, like it or hate it, Vegas is looking like a proper threat in these playoffs.
Yeah.
Like, they are looking like a threat. The other thing I wanted to talk about with Vegas Golden Knights and this series, and this is the funny. Tyler, I have a question for you.
Yep.
Do you know who is currently leading the playoffs in points?
So I actually did.
Well, he was until last night.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think I know. Yeah, because it's technically like Quinn Hughes or Kaprizov, right?
So Kirill Kaprizov now has 14 points. Quinn Hughes is tied for second with 13. The other man who was tied for second was the man leading the playoffs in points up until the Minnesota game yesterday, Mitchell Marner.
Wow.
Mitch Marner, by the way, 6 goals in 9 games.
Is he the problem in Toronto?
He really wasn't the problem, was he?
I think, once again, it's a cultural issue.
I think so. Which, by the way, stat for you, I don't know if you've heard this. Mitch Marner is the second player in history to have been drafted by the Toronto Maple Leafs and scored a hat trick in the playoffs. The first player to do that was Nazem Kadri. The catch is, neither of them did it as Leafs.
There's so much joy.
What a beautiful stat, isn't it?
That's so wonderful. Honestly, that could.
It's one of the. I read it and I was like, yeah, that checks out. That checks out.
That brings me so much joy.
But Mitch Marner is leading the. Well, Mitch Marner is, among the players leading in points right now. Part of why I wanted to bring this up is he didn't have a really lackluster first season in Vegas. A lot of people kind of pitch it that way, but he was still, I think he had like 81 points in 82 games?
Yeah. I
Like,
remember,
what are you
like,
talking about?
I remember watching one of the broadcasts and, like, yeah, he's been kind of disappointing. And I was like, so I kind of rolled with it for a while. And it's like, like, kind of look at the numbers, it's like, what are they talking about? This guy had a great year. Like, if someone had that year on the Rangers, I would have cried of happiness. Like, because, yeah, this year he had
80 points to finish the season.
In 81 games with a plus 17.
I don't know what people are talking about.
Yeah, sure, it wasn't his 102-point season he was coming off of, but, like, he's pretty much in line with where he's been his whole career besides that one season.
Yeah.
So, like, honestly, yeah, like, he's been pretty good.
Like, Mitch has almost always been an 80 to 90-point guy.
And, like, figured he's probably, like, we can talk about the Leafs all day and how much I hate them.
But, yeah, we can. Exactly.
Austin Matthews, prior to his one injury, could score, like, at any rate he wanted to. So, like, yeah, Mitch was going to get some points there.
A fair bit of points, yeah.
Yes, I mean, like, honestly, like, he had a great year. I mean, honestly, once again, I don't want to make Alex upset, but my God, Vegas has just been very good to watch. Like, the Ducks also have been very good.
No, the Ducks have been so much fun to watch as well.
Yeah.
And they're going to be... the Ducks situation, this is so ironic talking about it with the Flyers because the whole Zegras and Drysdale trades. It's so ironic. I was going to compare it to the Flyers. Like, it's the same thing with the Flyers for the Anaheim Ducks in that this is your first big... Like, you made the playoffs. Good job. Well, learn from this. You went up against, like, you took, like,
orange.
Yep.
Scored and outscored and played better defense than a team not wearing orange that didn't have a goaltender and had a really top scoring forward.
Yeah.
And, like, that's the exact same series. We watched the same thing happen twice.
Yep.
And then, honestly, once again, I think then in Flyers' case, got up against Carolina, and once again, big culture team who has solid two-way play, and they're, unfortunately, the Ducks are kind of in that same boat.
It's very much culture.
It's just a culture thing. And it's not that the others don't have it, it's just the way that Carolina and Vegas are built is just dumb.
Absolutely.
It's so dumb. It's amazing.
And, like, yeah, and to that, I'll finish this point, is Vegas is, like, don't let this season and the loser points of Vegas fool you. Because they're such a fucking different animal when it comes to the playoffs. They're either the greatest team on earth or they suck.
Yep.
Like, they forget how to play hockey. And this is one of those seasons where you're like, oh, yeah, okay. Because I think now, especially with the performance Mitch has been having at over a point per game, like, dude, he was barely under a point per game in Toronto. And you put him with, like, again, it's one of those things where, like, a breath of fresh air truly shows what kind of monster you get. Like, look at Jack Eichel. Jack Eichel never made the playoffs with the Buffalo Sabres, unfortunately. He goes to Vegas, and the year they win the Cup, he probably should have won the Conn Smythe Trophy.
Well, I mean, dude, it goes back to, once again, let's appreciate the ridiculousness of, he had a down year. He's kind of bad at a point
per game. Yeah. That's bad.
Okay.
Yeah, let's hold your horses there.
So, I mean, once again, Vegas continues to do the Vegas thing. I mean, they're very non-traditional in how they do their business, but, like, once again, everybody they've gotten has been a misfit or a reject or, anything under the sun. They said, we got a home for you.
Yeah.
How would you like to go to the playoffs? How do you want to wear a full jersey? And
how would you like to try and win a cup?
Yeah, and, like, it's a great sales pitch.
It is, yeah. A lot of players have gone, and it's worked out. I mean, again, I know people will be like, "Well, it doesn't work." If they won a cup, they have a Stanley Cup. A team that has not even been in existence for 10 years yet. They have a Stanley Cup.
Well, I mean, like, dude, like, I guess, like, Carter Hart. I mean, there were teams when he was available. Like, there were at least, I remember reading about 5 to 10 teams interested in him.
Yeah.
But
he went to Vegas,
and he got the pick of the litter.
Yeah,
and he chose Vegas, and I think that says a lot about Vegas too, right? Is like,
they
have a charisma to them. Players want to go there. Players want to be in Vegas.
Players want to win. That's the thing, right? Players want to win. All right. the last series to talk about is the series that is about to end their third game in 2 minutes. Montreal Buffalo.
Because so I mean, like, obviously vibes. I love the vibes here.
Yes,
But,
the
like,
vibes are great, but
as I told you guys in the first playoff episode, Montreal is my dark horse, and I was pretty loud about that. I was pretty loud about that being my
we're
dark horse.
aware. And I you know what? I didn't disagree with you. You know that. Let's just make the record straight.
Alex on the other hand,
Alex on the other hand doesn't believe in the vibes.
His version of vibes work.
Just keep the record straight. I did not disagree.
Yes.
Oh, Montreal is starting to scare me, man.
Did I tell you, dude? They
I
are
know,
so fast.
I know.
They are so fast.
So here's the funny thing I want to bring up in this series right now. In about 2 minutes, it will be 2-1 to Montreal for the series,
barring an absolute incredible miracle.
Barring arguably what could be the greatest minute and a half collapse we ever see, like Leafs level bad.
Get you first
through 3 games. Through 2 games so far. 12 goals have been scored. That number is obviously changed now, but Buffalo wins their first game 4-2. 6 goals scored total.
Yep.
Game 2, Montreal wins 5-1. 6 goals scored total. Not like a crazy high scoring affair, but a little more than the average for an NHL game. Especially for a playoff game. Montreal just smacked the crap out of them 6-2. Mm-hmm. This is a series where I think everyone is so focused on the forward cores. High scoring, fast as shit, young, nimble. Like, you've got, like, short King Cole Caulfield versus Chaos Giraffe Tage Thompson. He is a short king, okay?
I was just not expecting that. Sorry.
I'm sorry, did you want me to try to talk about short king Logan Stankoven too?
Yeah, let's go for it.
Oh, they're all great. But it is a series that everyone is so focused on the forward cores, and then you look at the defense cores. You look at your Lane Hudson, Caden Gooley led Montreal core, and Noah Dobson, I believe he's back now. And you look at Rasmus Dahlin, who, by the way, just got nominated for the Norris.
He absolutely deserves that.
Rightfully so, I think. He deserves that. And then there's goaltending. And goaltending is the part of this series that I think a lot of people not overlooked, but didn't pay enough attention to.
I think the reason, though, is really in front of us, though, because I think if you look at their first round, you look at Swayman, and, Buffalo beat Jeremy Swayman. I think that was the whole conversation. But I'll be honest with you, Jakub Dobeš is
a monster.
Pretty phenomenal. Like, Carey Price level, like, saves every now and again, where it's like, hey, it looks like Carey a little bit in that. It's not just the gear either. It's straight up every now and again makes a highlight reel saver. It's like, damn.
Like, I want people to remember that this series with Tampa for Montreal only ended not too long ago, but through the 7 games that they had with Tampa, the most amount of goals Montreal gave up in any game was 3 against the Tampa Bay Lightning.
Yeah, and I think to me, that's the big takeaway, right? Is it's like, yeah. And by the way, I mean, Montreal scored on Vasilevsky to win the series and beat Victor Hedman and company. Like, that's hard to do.
That's very... Now, I think part of it, I don't want to talk about that series because obviously it's done, but with Hedman being gone for a lot of it, I think that I don't want to blame lack of leadership because, again, fucking Tampa won 2 cups basically with a broken Stamkos.
But, like, I think there's just... It's not a takeaway from Tampa. It's a kind of compliment to Montreal to how well they were able to play. And, like, I think if you're looking at last round opponents, I think arguably I would say that Montreal had the harder opponent, and they played against arguably the top 2-3 goalie in the world, arguably, depending on how you rank, your Russian goalie of choice. And then on the flip side, I mean, I would argue they played against a better defensive core. Or they're probably about the same beach team, but, like, at the end of the day, it's like, man, I think beating Tampa holds a little more weight than beating Boston this year.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Boston's way ahead of schedule with their rebuild, but it's like, or the retool, whatever you're going to call it, and it's like, I'm not totally surprised by the... I mean, obviously, like, dude, everyone wants this. The world wants this.
The world
America
does
wants
want
this.
it.
However, like, dude, I've been a Montreal fan, as you remember from college, man. Dude, I love Carey Price. I love when they have PK. Like, I love that whole franchise. And it's like, yeah,
Yep.
man, like, this is a different animal they kind of got rocking right now, and like, they're not afraid.
No, and I think that's
got some swagger to them, man.
I think that's the thing, is that Buffalo and Montreal, in so many ways, are so similar in the way that those rosters are built. Yet Montreal's just got that, like, that extra fucking aggression to them. Like, they're not afraid to get, messy. And they haven't, like, again, this hasn't been only now has this been a high-scoring affair for the Canadians. But, like, Buffalo had a couple high-scoring games against the Bruins. Or this is against Jeremy Swayman. That is something to note, right? But it's the way that Montreal held themselves against the Tampa Bay Lightning that I think gives them, for me, the upper edge in this series against the Buffalo Sabres. Like, they're not afraid at all.
Well, I mean, dude, once again, good. We can talk culture all night, man. Like, look at the coach. Look at the coach.
Look at the coach. Marty.
Like, dude, like, probably one of the, I would argue, like, my favorite forward of our entire childhood I've ever watched play the game. Like,
he'd be like top 3 for me. Yeah.
Just absolutely carried charisma and, like, just absolutely someone you wanted to root for. Like,
yes.
100%. I don't know anyone who's like, God, Marty Silly, what an ass. Like, no one hates him. No. He's a wonderful human being. It's like, how could you not want to, like, win for that guy?
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, culture, man. I totally get it. I will say, I do love the fact that, and no, I don't want to talk about round 1 too much, but, like, I do love the fact when Buffalo brought Josh Allen out, they lost that game. They killed me.
Nothing changes in Buffalo, it seems, no matter what sport.
Josh Allen against the New England team, fail.
Man. This series, this is the one, like, this is, like, I mean, all the series are fun. There's no more which is more fun. Every series this playoffs has just been fun.
I think I told you guys this after, like, the second week, like, of the playoffs. So it was just like, this is the most intently I've
been watching. Yeah,
dude, I've been watching it, and, like, on stage I've had it on my phone. Like, in the studio I've had it on my phone. Like, it's a blast, man.
Shout out to Sportsnet Plus for keeping me watching the games. I gotta figure out how I'm gonna be watching all the games while I'm on the other side of the world in a couple weeks. But, like, I'll find a stream or something.
Oh, you'll be fine.
Exactly, I'll be fine. Yeah, it's just been such a great playoffs. Okay. So we've got a little bit of time left. There's one thing I did want to talk about. There's another thing I didn't think we'd have time for it, but I think we might. We'll see. Yeah. Let's just get to the first thing. The draft lottery is now over. So, I was at a rehearsal, subbing in for Mean Girls, not Mean Girls, sorry, Legally Blonde, the musical. Great show if you haven't seen it.
Heck yeah.
And that was the night of the draft lottery. So I wanted to have my phone out, but I'm like, I kind of got to focus because I'm subbing, and I got priorities, right?
Sometimes we actually do have to work.
Sometimes we actually do our jobs, yes. All I see when I take my phone out after the end of the first act is a bunch of texts that go, the ball, number 12. I see 3 voicemails from friends of mine where they're all just maniacally laughing, and I go, what is happening here? And then I see the group chat that Tyler and Alex and I are in, and it just says, I hate the NHL. They rigged it. Fuck Gary Bettman. And I go, oh my God, the Leafs won the first overall pick, didn't they?
Well, that's telling. I'm glad you knew what that meant.
Yeah. Toronto has the first overall pick.
I hate that franchise. I hate that franchise.
After the hiring of John Chayka and the dumpster fire that press conference was, the day after that, they get the first overall pick.
Okay, honestly, I just need to ask you, because, like,
okay,
do you honestly think it's rigged? I'm like, genuine bottom of my heart question.
I want to say no.
I want to say no.
I want to say no, but
I
I'm
want to
like,
say no, but like, dude, the Leafs had one kind of mediocre year, got Austin Matthews. The Leafs had another kind of mediocre year, and now they're getting first overall pick. It's like, what the fuck? Like,
yeah, the one time the 1 year that the Leafs finally said, okay, we're gonna tank, they get Austin Matthews
dude,
after
honestly,
years of
if
when they should have tanked.
anybody else won it, like seriously, probably not the Sharks. Honestly, like I'm kind of mad at the two who got.
I wish it was Vancouver,
dude. If Nashville, Vancouver, Blackhawks, obvious my own team, like
Calgary.
Seattle, I would have been cool.
Seattle.
If Calgary got it, I would have been over the moon.
Been great. Yeah,
I love Calgary. Like it's just the Leafs got it, man. It's like, and then the Sharks already have so much good shit. It's just like this is bullshit. Like,
so that like, okay, I don't know if we can make this one quick, but we'll see. What the fuck do the Leafs do? The obvious answer is McKenna, right?
So, I think we said this before we started, and it's like, let me try this again. I've been saying this for 10 years, so it hurts.
Yes.
They need defense and a goalie. Like, they don't need goal scorers. And you know what they're going to do? They're going to draft McKenna, and they're going to be like, we got McKenna, and they're going to sell a shit ton of jerseys, and they're going to get fucking whopped when they lose every game, like, 10-8. Like, they're just going to be bleeding out their face when they're just losing, because they're just going to be scoring a bunch of goals, but every other team's going to be like, oh yeah, we have a goalie.
Yeah, and actual defenseman.
And like actually, yeah, it's like they're still gonna put out like 3 goals, and they're still gonna lose every game. It's not gonna matter.
Yeah. The other thing too is like you gotta kind of prioritize if you're gonna draft Gavin McKenna. It's like, you know, I know people are like, well, William Nylander is a staple of this Toronto Maple Leafs team. He's one of the heart and souls of this team, dude. If Gavin McKenna pans out the way we all think Gavin McKenna pans out, fuck William Nylander. You might as well trade him to get one of the other top 5 picks in the draft, if he's worth that.
Well, and the other problem is, like, once again, at some point you gotta pay people.
Yeah, so that's the thing. At some point you gotta pay people.
And like, okay, so then you're gonna have, once again, you're back to the core 4, right? Like you're gonna have Tavares, you're gonna have like an Nylander, you're gonna have Matthews, and then you're gonna have,
and then you have McKenna.
Yeah, which once again is all fine and dandy, but name the starting 6 defensemen on the Toronto Maple Leafs. I'll sit here casually and wait because you can't.
Morgan Rielly. Who the fuck else was defense anymore? Brandon Tanev is still there?
There was someone else. Like, everyone's over the age of 90, so I don't really remember because I wasn't alive when they got drafted.
Brandon Carlo, who I'm pretty sure is a spy.
Let's see, Maple Leafs roster.
The point being is that even despite having Morgan Rielly, he's just not the franchise defenseman of the team. He's just a guy. OEL, that's right. Who had a good year. He actually had a pretty good season.
Jake McCabe.
Oh.
Troy Stretcher, Brandon Carlo.
Okay.
Simon Bennett.
Yeah, that's a lot of guys.
These are names, right? Those
are names for sure. So, the point being is, if you're the Toronto Maple Leafs, you have one, like, the obvious answer, unfortunately, is that they're going to pick Gavin McKenna and go, oh, we have McKenna, like, to your point, right? If you're smart, you grab Chase Reed or Keaton Vierhoff. Because guess what? They are franchise of what?
If they're smart, they trade and get Otter Hellebuck.
Trade the first overall pick?
If for a goalie? An actual real life working good goalie? American made gold medal winners, by the way.
Shut up.
But dude,
interesting.
A proven franchise goalie, because Otter's annoyed with the Stars, right? Because he's tired of losing, and like they keep putting him in shitty positions, and they all keep blaming him. And Hellebuck is pissed at Winnipeg for the exact same reason. What the hell? Who would say no in that trade?
Yeah, that's true though. Who does say no? You get the first overall pick, and you get in for, like, especially if you're Winnipeg.
Well, and like, by the way, Justin Holl is going to be our future goalie, and that worked out terribly. Joseph
Holl, yes.
Yeah, but exactly.
You're confusing him with the borderline defenseman Justin Holl.
Exactly. Sorry. But regardless, yeah, Holl's been not great. And like they don't really have any good prospect goalies from my knowledge offhand. Like now, granted, I don't really follow that a lot, but
yeah. This is something I want to like just say again. We're not hopefully trying to make another Leafs bashing segment out of this because we've had too many over the years.
no, not enough.
The amount of people I know that keep telling me that Anthony Stolarz is the goalie that will help them in the playoffs, I'm like, he's fine. He's not what they need. Like you need a like. I'm going to be honest. Did not even think about the Leafs trading the first overall pick.
I mean, dude,
At least for a goalie.
I think it should be in the if I was in that room, that would be kind of something I'd bring up. I'll put it like that. Now, granted, I am a weird one, but I still believe goaltending wins you a cup.
Yeah.
I think historically speaking, that has been very true. You can look at the stats and tell me otherwise, but like, you need a goalie.
Yep.
Like, you can only score your way to happiness so much.
I will say that's definitely better than one of the mock trades I saw, where Toronto trades the first overall pick to Vancouver for Elias Pettersson. And I'm like, what is that? The forward Elias Pettersson.
Yes.
Let me be clear.
I assumed.
Yeah. And the question is like, what does that do for Toronto? That solves nothing.
Once again, that's what if they don't take a defenseman. Like, look, if I am in charge, and let's say I love the Leafs for 5 seconds,
sure,
I'm either going to trade for a goalie, like
or
an
take a defenseman,
certified stud goalie, or take a defenseman. You do not need offense. Now, the Leafs are going to continue to do Leafs things, get big fancy forward, which sells jerseys.
So they're going to take McKenna.
Profit goes up, smiley face.
Exactly. Which people are not alarmed yet, and I don't know how, because it's already been a few days since that. Like, how do I put this? If the Leafs we'll talk about this. We'll do an episode before the draft, and that will be key. We might actually just fucking watch the draft together. We'll find out. More on that later. Anyway, that'd be fun. More on that later. If the Leafs take Gavin McKenna, the Sharks can do whatever the hell they want. And all they need is a franchise like number one defenseman. And there's 2 of those in this draft.
Well, and honestly, I remember reading a report about a month ago that some teams don't actually think McKenna's the first overall choice.
Central Scouting, from what Alex and I recently checked, a lot of them do have McKenna at number 1 right now, but that could change in the next couple weeks.
Well, let's see. They just released the final one.
Okay.
It is McKenna as the leading forward.
Who's 2? Stenberg?
Stenberg leads all international skaters.
Okay, that makes sense. Yep. Yeah, I think the point is the Leafs have the first overall pick. They're going to do what everyone expects them to do, which is draft Gavin McKenna. But you're going to draft Gavin McKenna. You should probably move some things around. Like the Islanders, maybe not in the same situation, but the best example recently, where they got the first overall pick. They traded Noah Dobson.
Yeah.
And everyone went, why would you trade your franchise number 1 defenseman? Because they were about to draft their franchise number 1 defenseman in Matthew Schaefer.
Yeah, I mean,
but they needed that was the thing.
If they're not going to trade the pick, and let's say they decide they're set on McKenna full bore, then what they need to do is they need to have a long conversation with Nylander. Or honestly, even Matthews, because
even Matthews.
Matthews hasn't had a great couple years.
So Chris Johnston and Elliot Friedman have both been reporting this, and a lot of people have been doubting it because they're like, "Oh, why would you say that?" These are 2 of the biggest and most well-known insiders in the sport, and they're very trusted names in this. But both of them have come out and saying that Matthews has had conversations with the Toronto Maple Leafs that he's not happy how things are going, and there needs to be significant change, or he doesn't see a future in Toronto.
You know what I'm hearing? I'm hearing that he watched the Mammoth series.
I was gonna say he's gonna look so great in a Mammoth jersey.
He said, "Goddamn,
yep,
sign me up,
sign me up. I'm going back."
You imagine? I'm only
that would be funny. Actually, that would be pretty funny. But yeah, so we'll talk more about the draft once we get into June, and the playoffs start to die down a little bit. We start looking at what exactly the situation is for all these teams, especially in the top 5, are looking like. We're just about at the hour mark, and I kind of want to
Cool.
end with this, just for fun. On the
Yeah.
topic of players potentially leaving their teams,
Okay.
just a shot in the dark question, but it's been our favorite question because we ask this every time the Oilers do anything. Is Connor McDavid leaving?
Connor McDavid, Vincent Trocheck. We're gonna swap places. Top 5 draft pick. We're gonna trade it with him. Connor's a Ranger. Just bring him home, baby. Let's go.
Bring him back. Bring him home.
Bring him home.
Some Newmarket, Ontario.
Follow Mark. Just come on home to New York.
Yeah, true. Wayne did it too.
Yeah, bring the whole team. Bring Draisaitl too. We'll get Draisaitl in a couple of years when he's like done his tour.
Because the Oilers are another team that, I mean, they've had this problem for years. That management just doesn't know what to prioritize anymore. The fans ran Stuart Skinner out of the fucking city.
Dude, I don't know how to tell you that. It's so easy. It's a goalie and defenseman. I know the solution to like five of the NHL's stupidest team.
I'll have you know. In the 2021 NHL draft, the Edmonton Oilers famously traded their pick to move down and draft, I think it was Xavier Bourgault.
It was.
And do you remember who the pick was that the Oilers ended up trading?
Yes, because I texted you, this is the stupidest franchise, quote, next to the Leafs.
Next to the Leafs.
And I said after that, actually, maybe even dumber, because they drafted the goalie prospect who I told you, I remember you texted me, said, like, what's your favorite goalie prospect to drop? Like, this is the best kid in like the past 5 years.
Well, yeah, because the debate
someone needs to draft this kid.
The debate was Casa Wallstedt, and I remember you were so high on Jesper Wallstedt.
I told you.
Yeah. Oh, not that I don't believe you. I know you were right. Like, I love Sebastian Casa. He's a Red Wing anyway, so like, bias aside. Yeah. But you traded the opportunity to draft the dude that just made Colorado look like fucking fools.
Drafted the man who had like what, some stupid amount of like shutouts this year. Like,
yeah, as a rookie. Like,
like my god. Connor would have loved that, man.
Yeah, right. But Canadian franchises just aren't okay. Sorry, outside of the Canadians, Canadian franchises just have not been, great at dealing.
I have a weird topic for another week about how like your whole country has forgot what goaltending is, but it's a whole other conversation.
Yes, they have. But that's a conversation. Yeah, that's an off-season conversation.
Yeah, very interesting off-season conversation. But like, I don't know. Like, it feels very every Canadian team right now, besides the Canadians, seem to kind of like just have one really strong suit, and then everything else is just kind of borderline terrible.
Which is insane because Winnipeg's strong suit is their goaltending.
Yeah. Which like, but
I don't know. That's the thing, right?
It's the bag there.
Yeah, a little bit, don't you think? But yeah, it's just like, the Oilers lose in the first round, and it's like, oh, Connor McDavid's not happy. Dude, Connor McDavid lost back-to-back Stanley Cup finals. I'd be pissed off. The fact that you did nothing about it is incredible.
Yeah.
Sorry. I don't want to say they didn't do anything. They got Tristan Jarry.
Dude, that worked out.
Yeah.
My favorite part is they didn't even start him. Like, he wasn't even their starter. Which,
like, good, cool. And again, yeah, and also, like, to the Oilers, I think this is where we're gonna end it. I don't know if you saw in the group chat how I was talking about people are complaining that Evan Bouchard didn't get nominated for the Norris, and the Oilers too were being petty about it that he didn't get nominated. So they posted like a highlight reel of Bouchard moments from this season, as if he should have been nominated, and someone responded with every turnover he's made this season.
Don't you love it?
And that video is longer than the actual highlight reel the Oilers posted. And I'm like, dude, he's like, Evan Bouchard's not a defenseman. I'm sorry to tell you this.
Like,
and you're paying him too much money.
He is like Carlson, right? He's a lot like Carlson.
Yeah.
And like he can score, like, or
he can score.
Exactly. The owner of the Senators, former owner of the Senators, the second coming of Jesus was what they called Erik Karlsson. And
yes.
It's awesome that you can score every Bouchard. It's really cool. Now, if you back check every once in a while, number one, all of your goalies are going to say thank you. Number two, McDavid might not kill somebody. So, I mean, like, honestly, there's a lot riding on that.
Just a little.
So, Connor,
Just a little.
come on to New York. We got a goalie for you who will love you. We got an Adam Fox who will love you. Like, come on home, Bubba. We need you.
That might do it.
That's a great place to end it.
Yeah, I think that's a great place to end it. On that note, I'm not even going to fight it this time. Like, you get your propaganda today.
Yeah.
But on that note, this has been Up the Boards. Keep watching the playoffs. It's a fucking good time. Hockey playoffs are the best playoffs in professional sports, and I'm gonna die on the hill rather. Yep. The next time we will be back, we will figure that out later. I probably won't be here because I'm about to be traveling. All of us are very busy people. This isn't a full-time thing, right? Yeah. So it's always like we'll take breaks here and there, but that's just what happens. It's a hobby. We love that people do listen to this. Especially like friends of mine out here tend to listen a lot, and I'm like, thank you guys for checking out the pod. It's always a fun time here. But the next time we are back, it'll probably be Alex and Tyler talking about if the Ducks beat the Vegas Golden Knights, Alex is going to be fucking...
Yeah, it's going to be a 1-hour episode of Alex.
It's going to be a 1-hour episode of just Alex. Until then, though, you can find us on Spotify, as usual. I got to get our social media running up again. We have an Instagram account that I just need to get working on. We've been busy people. Again, this isn't a full-time thing. But, hey, you know what? If you've been listening, thank you for listening. If you like what you hear, leave a like, leave a comment, leave a subscribe. Tell all your friends. I did not steal that from Steve. Yes, I did. That we will be back sometime soon. Until then, enjoy. Bye.